Welcome to Beyond the Norms, the podcast where we question the rules, challenge traditions, and rethink the everyday standards shaping our society. From education and religion to culture and lifestyle in Nigeria, we dive deep into the issues that matter, spark conversations, and inspire fresh perspectives. I am Onwodizion Emeka and I'm here with my co-hosts Nwobi Ikenna, Jude. Together we will explore what happens when we dare to think differently. Okay, welcome Zain. It's nice having you today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Would you love to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Zay. I usually go by Zay, although my real name is Zay. And I'm a software developer by profession, and I also studied engineering.
Okay, so today in this episode, we are talking about the hold of social media on young Nigerians, how it has shaped our minds, influenced our dreams, and affect how we see life in general. So Zain, I would love to start with you. Would you say there is an existing pressure amongst young Nigeria as a result of social media?
Yes, I do believe because it's evident, quite evident in our daily lives. Because these days you see some certain form of a certain idea or lifestyle that is being pushed out there on social media, and to us being impressionable youths, when you grow up seeing these things over and over, it kind of makes you feel that this is the way the world works. You don't necessarily start to think about, okay, wow, what if this is fake life? What if this is just social media stuff? Just assume that this is how real life should be, and you start working towards very, very unrealistic goals. So yeah, there is actually an existing thing, if I would say so myself.
Like, how about you? Would you say there is a pressure that exists amongst, especially young Nigerians?
Very well. There are pressure from different aspects. You see a lot of people flaunting lifestyles on social media, and as a result of that flaunting of lifestyle, posting of expensive cars, and the relationships as well, everything. So people tend to actually want to live these so-called good lifestyles,
Soft life.
enjoyment, the soft life, which yes, which others are, which the influencers are living. So for that reason, there is this peer pressure, social media pressure to actually, do what they are doing as well. So there's a lot of pressure, I would say so.
Would you say this pressure is affecting you personally?
Personally, I have tried to actually contain any influence that social media can actually have on me. Like I try to select what is actually good from it,
How can you
and
select it? It's the
believe.
algorithm that selects what it gives to you now.
No, actually, no, actually. You see, the algorithm is going to post things that you are actually interested in. If you're not interested in something, if you're that kind of person that when this thing comes to your news feed, you just scroll past. The algorithm is not going to bring those things to you again. So that's the way I am able to select what influences me. In fact, I'm that kind of person as well that, this flaunting of lifestyles and expensive stuff that people flaunt, it don't really get to me. I don't feel like it's the way to live. So
So,
for
you-
it, it
so you're,
doesn't
you're saying
influence
you
me
are
that
not
much.
moved by all these things, yeah, the flashy cars, the iPhone 17 Pro Max, all those things don't
Definitely,
move you.
definitely. I have my goals and I'm chasing my goal as well. So those things, I don't allow them to move me. In fact, they don't move me. I mean, 99% of the time, they don't move me at all. I don't feel like it.
Zain, how about you?
Hmm. Well, I'm not going to lie because initially, when I got introduced to social media and I saw these types of vanity, I always felt like, wow, Omo, I feel like this is where it's happening, that kind of thing now. But as I grew older and I got wiser to an extent, I realized that most of these things are just being faked. Even if they are not even being faked, the way they are going about whatever they are doing is not necessarily how I believe my life should be lived. So when I got this realization, I cut down my time on social media. That's one. And
Hmm.
two, I actively make the algorithm know what I want. So if I something I don't want or is saying something that is trying to like paint that picture in my head, I either block, mute, or tell the algorithm that I don't want to see this again.
How do
So
you
that's
tell
I
the
do it on
algorithm you
Twitter, I
don't
do
want to
it
see
on
this again?
I think there is
The
on most
algorithm.
social media, anytime you see a post, there's always going to be like these three dots on top of the post. When you click it, you see some options. Among those options, you're
Yeah,
more likely to see something like, I want to see less of this, or I want to see more of this kind of stuff. So those things
You're
kind of
saying
help
it's
give
on
back
all
to
social
the
media
algorithm.
platforms.
Yes,
I get Zen on
YouTube,
that. I even use it.
Instagram, FB, Twitter, it's on all those things. So that's how I usually train. So if I maybe enter a social media and I don't see the options in the way I'm looking for it, I just block the person or mute the person so that I just have to let the algorithm know one word or other. I don't want to see this kind of content within. So those have kind of helped me, and at least it doesn't. I'm just very, very careful what gets into my mind. That's how I put it.
So how much of a role do you think social media plays on the average young Nigerian in their day-to-day life?
I feel like it plays a very big role in the sense of giving people a way to connect beyond their immediate environment, right? Connect to so many people. Like, it's the amount of opportunities the average Nigerian has just by being connected online is quite, it can't be understated, truly. So, in terms of positive role or positive impact, it actually has a very, very big impact on.
Would you say the positive outweighs the negative?
It's going to be subjective if I say it does, because some else will come and still say it doesn't, based on what he's seeing in real life. But in personally, I feel like it outweighs. Like
That's
the positive
good
parts that you can actually get from social media, to me, I feel like it outweighs.
I agree with
Just
you.
that the negative part is more pronounced. That's what I would say it.
It's more pronounced, yeah. I agree with you on that. How about you, Ike? Would you say the positive outweighs the good, the bad?
They are very, very close. Like it's more of a, if I would grade it, it's going to be about let's say 60-40. But I agree with saying that the positive impacts does outweigh the negative, but very, very tiny margin. And you see the positive side as well, it's very, very beneficial for people that are actually making use of it. So I agree totally. I don't have much to actually say on that.
Would you say social media is affecting how we interact as humans? Because I feel like human beings, we are social creatures, but nowadays you have a lot of people spending more time on their devices, on their screens, and it's kind of reducing the physical human interaction. Do you think we are losing social skills over time?
Yes, we are losing a lot of it. Nowadays, you see somebody almost by himself inside his house, no time to actually interact with others. In fact, it does happen to me too. So I don't really have time to interact with others, and a lot of the time I'm actually, but it's on the positive side. A lot of time I'm actually learning on social media, so I don't have the time to interact. And for that reason, it is affecting how well we interact with others over time. But I mean, for some people, it's negative. They're actually admiring lifestyle on TikTok. You see some people, they stay in the house for a very long time.
And you feel like that's negative because they are not using it to learn anything. It's leisure now. What if it's leisure? It's just entertainment.
We talked about no, see, no, okay. I'm coming to that. The negative aspect of it is what I'm actually talking about. That you see, when you actually spend a lot of your time watching skits, videos, and lifestyle on social media, I feel like it's very, very bad. That's what leads to this comparison and the urge to actually, meet up to the lifestyle of those people. And you would agree with me that that is very bad if you are that kind of person that it does influence. So for somebody to spend the whole day on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and everything, listening to gossips and all that is very bad. I don't know how you want to actually put it, but it's very bad for me.
The truth is, the part that Ike went into is a part that I feel like we should actually give more time to discuss. But I have a lot to say on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Within the scope of this question now, I will just say that it is really, really affecting social skills. I won't lie. As in, there are sometimes I'll see some memes of people reminiscing of the past where, you see youths, people come out in the daytime, or even nighttime under the moon, just discussing, having this closeness with one another in real life. But these days that the world has been reduced to a global village with social media, or more. Person if you just stay in house, just the on media everywhere. If you ask something, go talk to an introvert. But the truth is that even as introverts, you go still need to connect with people because now
That's true.
people are your life, as in they hold so many things that are dear to you. In fact, human beings are social creatures by default. So surviving on your own is just as hard. That's the truth.
No man is
So
an
when
island.
you spend most of your time on social media, you discover that when you now come to real life, you go see person, he go get mouth like this. But online, they talk, they bash, they banter. I bring and come real life now, he go dey like lamb with the monkey. Because he has attributed all his social skills on media that is not real life. So it is really bad. And the effects are being noticed by people. In fact, some people can just come and realize that, wow, me will be say normally, I feel just come on, talk with my guy. As in, I feel up to person where I don't know. Introduce myself, say one or two things, just get to know the person. This time is more of just me being on Facebook and the rest of them chatting around people. Because of now, they don't see me now. So I feel I have the confidence of the world in me. That kind of thing. So that's why I see it, Sha. But as for the part that Ike was talking about in terms of what TikTok is doing there, the truth is, these things, in fact, that's the reason why I avoid that app called TikTok at all costs. Because whoever designed that thing there's a kind of mind that person has. Whoever designed that UI, the interface of that place,
Of TikTok.
that person he understands human nature to the max. Because you know what it means that you ensure that each content you watch on TikTok is short. At the same time, you still maintain, like you try to maintain the person's dopamine levels as he keeps scrolling. So you keep inducing him to keep scrolling. Maybe he laughs.
So you're saying there's an
wow,
intentionality to the design.
Yes. And if you try, check it down. When you try to like maybe say, okay, I'm tired, let you scroll, like let you leave TikTok. You swipe once so that you will leave. Normally, most as when you swipe like across once, you leave. But if you do it in TikTok, it will go to next scroll. It will actually go to the next video. It's until like do it twice or 3 times before you leave the app. So they want to keep you there, keep wasting your time, keep ensuring that your attention span gets reduced, such that now when you want to pay attention to longer things, as far as it's no longer maintain your interest, you will not even have any will to stay on that thing again. So it's part of those things that we are talking about.
Zane, yes, I agree with you, but I feel like there are two sides to a coin, and to everything that has a negative side, there's always a positive side. It now depends on you as an individual.
In general,
the part you
but you know that
to maximize, because there are a lot of people making money from TikTok, Zane.
Normally, I know now, but see where the issue is. See where the issue is. Just that the average person doesn't have that much control over these things, because when you just get introduced to it newly, and you just see those fun parts, and that you now see it as a means of leisure, and you keep doing it over time, you're just training your brain, you're training your mind to stay on that for long, even when it's not even the positive side. Because it's not like I haven't learned things from TikTok before. I have, but those parts are rare to come across. And for the ones that are making money on it, those ones are the smart ones now. They are actually creating value, right? They're creating value. But if you see, the people that actually created those things, if you actually check, they don't let their children mindlessly scroll on the app, because they know what is happening. They know that they're making money from it, and they know that they're hijacking human behavior to make money off this thing. So it's up to the people that don't understand this now. They will now be one falling for it. But the ones that don't understand it, they will control their time.
But do you think you can really
That's just the way it
control
is.
it?
At least I did. So I believe that men can. It just has to be once you realize.
Oh, you're just saying, is it better we don't use the app at all?
No. You cannot say that now. Where your follow man business, you don't go use and care.
Yeah, so I feel like before we go into some of the negative things, let's talk about some of the positives. And one of the major positive impact that I feel like we saw social media do in recent years was during the issue of EndSARS. Yeah. You remember how a lot of Nigerians came together online, and during the protests, they were able to have one voice and one unity during the whole EndSARS process. And I feel like without social media, that wouldn't have been possible. So would you say that social media has a role to play in getting Nigerian youth to be more involved in politics and like having their voice heard out there?
Okay, yes. I believe so, because like you said, the plan for that EndSARS, even the police reform too that they did, the plan usually begin from the social media. They actually start when people start observing the irregularities, the very bad things happening in society, there's complaint here and there because humans are wired to complain about whatever bad that is happening in their society. So when this complaint continues, and social media is a very big tool for magnification of such complaints. So
Yeah.
because it has its way of spreading information very fast, and the feeds continue to feed you with it. The algorithm continue to feed you with it. And then you see that people are displeased over time. And, it's easy for people to actually call for a social media meeting where they discuss plan on how they will actually orchestrate the physical protest and anything that is needed. Look at the one Showore is doing recently about release of Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes.
The call is in the social media, and before you know, a lot of people actually keying into it and planning on doing the protest by 20th of October, which he actually stated. So social media is a very, very big tool for civic engagement and political awareness.
Yeah. Zin, would you like to add anything?
Yes, in accordance to what Ike is saying, it's very true. It really has this way of getting people to rally around in terms of politics. Because you know that there's some things that you necessarily maybe they want to organize protest or organize something that the government, of course, does not like. You cannot do it through general news outlets now, obviously. So, but social media where no one single government owns it, and it's mostly freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can just come and start something, whether for good or for bad. But anybody can just come and start something, and thousands of people key into it. So it has created this place where people can actually get their voices heard and organize, things that will make the government or force the government to heed to their requests. So yeah, that's just
Yeah.
basically it.
Again, let me try to say something. You see, during the time of Abacha, there's something he said about gathering of people when there are about few people gathering for any reasons. There's going to be they try to silence them during that time because it's a military government. So such thing, I don't think you can actually implement such thing again in this social media era, because when you try to implement such thing, we just organize meeting in social media and nobody, it's very difficult for you to actually, disperse the people that have gathered in social media.
That's true.
So
That's
very
true.
beautiful.
That's true.
True, true.
Yeah. So one of the major things I would like us to discuss today is the narrative that social media has brought and how social media kind of describes success.
Success for me is having a defined goal of what you actually want to achieve and working towards achieving it. And when you actually achieve that goal, that's when you can say you are successful. For me, it's about the process, the means by which you actually get there. Those things do matter a lot, but the social media, most of the time, what they actually threw out there for people to see is making money. They tell you that the success actually means making money. Of course, success also means making money, but by what means did you make the money? It's part of that success story. So if you just make money without any means, just want to kind of or means are actually legal and everything, it's very bad for me. And so my definition of success, as I have said, if people don't actually achieve success through that means, I don't think it's okay. So social media doesn't do very good in terms of that.
How I see it as well, it's such that social media just like if people are incentivized to paint a picture of soft life, like by default, soft life. So even when truly the person is not necessarily living that soft life, you see the person even going out of his way
So you
to
are saying
like, even if
majority
it's
of them
to
are
scam
faking it.
people. Yes, some of them are actually faking. I can't necessarily say it's majority of them, but some of them are faking it. But the truth is that even the ones that are not faking it, they will only show the good aspects of what they are doing. They will not show the like underlying things they may be doing to make some of the money they're making. So when they only show those good parts, now the people that are viewing it, the viewers, are not seeing those other parts. They just assume that okay, I do so and so, I do so and so, and I'll make
just get
so and
this
so money
result.
without working.
There's no
Nah,
process.
so as in, and it even makes it so easy to scam people. Because when you've been constantly showing them this thing, showing them this thing, showing them this thing, their natural guard instincts that guard against like stuff like that will reduce. So when the person says, okay, I'm launching a course, I'm launching this so that you can become like me, you see thousands and thousands of you signing up, only for at the end of the day, they say, oh, now all pass scam. The person has disappeared. You have not even, that's just what social media kind of paints these days in terms of success.
So I'd like us to move into something different. I want us to discuss the impact that social media has had on, the generation of children that we are raising today. So I think I would like to start with you. Do you think social media has had more of a negative or positive impact in raising children and parenting in general today?
Okay, I think it has had a good share of the both positive and negative impacts on children. You know, like we have actually stated from the very beginning of this podcast, there is the pressure. There is a pressure. Situations nowadays you see situations where children that have come of age, maybe around let's say 18 or so, and they are being pressured by their parents to actually go and make money, and just because of what their parents see on the social media, comparison like that, it does have influence on the children. Secondly, for children that are growing up, those set of children need attention, enough attention, and when you don't give them that attention, it can be destructive to their growing pattern. So,
They will go
for
and
example,
seek it
these
elsewhere.
mothers that are there, yeah, these mothers that are there to actually nurture their kids to actually grow up uprightly, they are sometimes they are caught in social media, taking a lot of time and all those things, not giving their kids the attention that is very much needed at that age.
Yeah, because I feel
Yeah,
like
those are
if
very.
as a child, if you don't give these children the attention that they require, they would go out there and get it somewhere. That's why you have a lot of kids today. Majority of the things they learn is like you can argue and say that social media is doing more job in training kids more than even parents because social media has become the new parents. A lot of children get their
Exactly. That's
whatever
what's
it is they learn. Yeah. Zen, you wanted to say something?
yes, exactly. That's part of what this thing just said and statement to me was one of the statements that was in my mind as this question was asked. Because the truth is that okay, in as much as maybe you are as a child is growing up. In fact, back then, before you even get a phone as a child, it means that like they assume that okay, this one has grown up to an extent, so they will buy you a phone. But prior to that, no matter what they are begging, they're not giving you a phone. But these days, you see children from age 4, having iPads, having iPhones. Like at that point now, they have basically unrestricted access to all aspects of internet, including social media. So now they are growing up watching these things, seeing people doing so and so, so and so. And it's kind of as if the majority of what they know about life and what nurtures their mindset about life from that very, very impressionable age is social media, which does not always represent reality. And the ones their parents are saying will not just be falling on deaf ears.
At what age then would you say is appropriate for kids to start having access to social media?
I'll just go with the age at which they allowed me. Around that kind, 14, 15, 16. At least somewhat you have a bit of awareness. Because prior to that period, they've already like told you about how it is and all that. And you self, of course, you know that even if they don't give you phone, at that age, you already have mind. So if he does they steal their phone sometimes, your parents' phone sometimes, or
Yeah.
you use your friend's phone, that kind of thing. But the fact that they are restricting you from it, and they always keep telling you that this is why they're restricting you. When you finally get it, you have a bit of background knowledge now. Okay, this might not be what I want to be doing. So it's before one is beforehand. That's just the idea. So around that time, 14, 15, 16, I think that's when it's okay. And even with that, there should be supervision.
Hmm.
There should be some levels of supervision because the
But
world now is something else.
don't you think that you
I
would
agree with
be
you. The positive impact of it
Yeah,
too, for that reason, because there are children of age 14, 15, they are in their senior secondary school, and many times they do need those social media for interaction, this class interaction to
yes.
actually help them pass information easily, and by their teacher as well to help them learn. So you cannot restrict them until they get to say 18, 19, where they have actually left secondary school. So 14, 15 is actually a very good age
Yeah.
for them to start. In fact, at that age they already know right and wrong. I mean, to an extent, if you orientated them
Greater
well and
extent.
raised them well.
So are you saying all these children that their parents have already put them in the social media world as a very long age? Because we have kids younger than that, and they are, maybe even influencers and children like that. A lot of people want to replicate that and make their children become popular and
Yes.
bring money and stuff like that.
Yes.
You think it's wrong to expose
The truth
children?
is that it's a very, very broad, like how will I put it? The surface area of risk is much higher doing that. Because if you watch some of these people that did that thing growing up, you see that as they finally grow up, you always be hearing some weird news about them. Either so and so happened or so and so happened. And usually I've noticed that kind of stuff always occurs when you don't allow a child to be a child. When you try to force a child into your narrative as a parent, try to say, okay, I want this child to be a child star, stuff like that, you are preventing them from experiencing proper childhood. And it stunts their growth to an extent because when they finally grow up, they tend to want to experience that they missed out on.
True.
I don't know if you get. I've seen this thing happen too many times that it's just a fact. So the surface area of risk for such happening is larger when you give them free hand like that at
So you're
younger
saying
age.
allow children remain children. Let them enjoy their childhood.
Yeah. Yeah, at that age,
Exactly.
the only thing you want them to see is what you believe is right for them and not what the society actually believes. The social media is going to expose them to what society, and we know the society we live in. If you don't have a nice defense against the society we are living in, it's likely that the society destroys, it distorts your view of what is right and wrong. So at that age, you need to continue to raise them. You need to continue to feed them with what you want them to actually know, what you think is right, and not what the society actually thinks.
Let's talk about the issue of fake news because recently, I don't know if you guys are aware of this in driver that these fake news that have been going around that the man set up with some touts to rob.
Yes.
Now you saw the way that news spread so quickly, and now I think they've come out to say that that's not actually what happened. That it was just an incident, a coincidence. So I don't know. How do you think we can curb the issue of fake news spreading so easily on the internet?
I think there has to be a body that regulates things, and that on social media shuts down fake accounts and all those things. Secondly, we as humans that are consuming it, we as the people in the society that are consuming it, we need to be very careful. Fake news are very, very rampant everywhere. So whatever news that you receive, it's very necessary that as an individual you go and verify from legitimate sites that news listen yes that there are newscasters and everything. So you need to go and verify from there and
But
not just
sometimes
consume anything you see from some blogs, because those blogs are the ones that are actually in the helm of it,
And the
trying to
truth is,
spread.
actually, yes. And in the truth, and the light of this in drive matter, because the thing about social media and humans, a kind of human nature, is that we tend to want to spread bad news faster and easier than what is actually good news. Because yesterday, when I was seeing that in everywhere, I was like, wow, scam. I was like, because I was seeing everybody, so I was feeling like, okay, is this, I don't use InDrive, so all this is not concerning me. But the same night again, somebody now posted like the chat somebody had with the guy, where he was like, it's not actually his fault. That his car truly actually broke down. And then all these Lagos area boys now ganged up against him, and the two ladies in the car now decided that they're going to use that news and spread and everything. And the guy's wife was just like crying that this people want to spoil her husband's business, that kind of thing. So you see, and now somebody managed to spread the news, but that you see that particular rebuttal did not spread as fast as the initial news that people were just spreading. So this thing is more like, I feel like we should be able to, like I say, take everything we see on media with a grain of salt. Don't just fully wholeheartedly believe it. See if it's possible to vet it from multiple sources before you even come to a conclusion. If at all there's a conclusion to be made. Because the truth is, even on Twitter now, at least they have a body, or they have a kind of an automated system plus human admins on Twitter that tend to do all these community notes, so that if somebody is saying something that is not true, they will go and verify and actually put the real thing under the person's post. Or maybe if they see all these bots and stuff that are spreading nonsense, they will be locking their accounts or deleting it. But that can only
That's
go so
very
far.
nice, honestly.
Truly, it's still left
That's
upon
very
us
nice.
as the humans. Honestly,
Quite recently, maybe about 1 year ago, the government was talking about regulating the social media concerning hate speech. Hate speech is just too much. Everywhere you go to on like on Twitter, on Facebook, you kind of see that the people that you are interacting with there, and I don't know how to describe them. Their mind is very, very, very poisoned. What they say on this thing, like it can actually discourage you or even cause you to, if you're not very mentally strong, it can cause you to actually go and commit suicide. That's how bad the space is.
truthfully,
Like, so government has to come in, because government said something about regulating social media. So I feel like government has to come in at some point, and try to regulate it, at least in our own context, in this Nigerian context, if it's possible to even pressure Facebook to regulate, like to implement some measures that we kind of start deleting account of people that use these harsh words and everything and spread false news and propaganda. So we don't have that because we don't have control of Facebook. Like government doesn't have control of Facebook, but
okay.
I believe if it pressures if it pressures Facebook, Facebook will be able to do something that can actually regulate it here to an extent.
So okay, yes, I was trying to say like in addition to what Ike is saying, right? But the truth is that the initial point we made about social media was that it lets people like come together and rally politically some form against things that pertain to the government. So now I'm trying to bring in government again. Are you expecting government to act as an impartial body? Because truly, they also want to censor things that have negatively affect them, even though it is true.
That's true.
Exactly. So
But
it's kind of
okay,
finding the balance is where the issue might be now.
again, Zane, yes, I get what you are saying. Like, if you give them if you give the government total control, they will dictate
Yeah.
what you can say and what. But in this case, there is human rights and there is something that is detrimental to human health. So those things that are human rights, fundamental human rights, if government comes in this case now,
Freedom of speech is part of
there should be
fundamental human
measures.
rights.
There should be measures because all stakeholders should make sure that, like, those things, humans, society, the people in society are not restricted from it. Like the right to actually go on protest, the right to organize protests. But you see that hate speech and propaganda and false news. I strongly believe that those accounts should be deleted because, like, the thing is very, very toxic on social media.
Ike, I feel like this
Yes,
thing
I can hear
the
you.
problem. The problem is not necessarily the platforms itself. I just feel like these are people just projecting who they are and their own insecurities online. So I feel like the problem we need to like check ourselves first. The issue is from us as individuals, not the platforms. It's just the platform gives us a place
I'm
where
not
we
saying.
can.
I'm not saying. Okay, I'm not saying
The,
like
the,
it's the platform
the
that is
truth.
doing it, but they are using the platform. The people are using the platform. So the platform has to be regulated. Zion, if you, I don't know, you use Twitter
The truth
and
is,
Facebook, and if you see those things, they are very, very toxic and detrimental
Yeah,
to
I
human health.
understand.
And I don't buy it at all.
yes. So I feel like the underlying issue here is that in every given society, in every given space, right, there are always these bad eggs that realize that okay, they can weaponize anonymity. Since okay, they're on social media, you can't necessarily trace them. You see
Yes.
always all these anonymous accounts. You can't necessarily trace them, so they kind of weaponize it, and you see them saying things that if they not born them well, make them come real life talker. They're not born there, as in they'll just be saying it with all gusto. I'm like, now wow, are this for real? So it's more like I don't know. I see things. I just imagine that social media is not real. I just keep telling myself it's not real because it will be rage baiting you you don't jam real rage bait before on Twitter. Like somebody will just come out and say one foolish thing like that, and the sole purpose of that thing that person said is just to incite rage and gather engagement, regardless of whether it's true or not. They'll just keep spreading it and more.
We are saying we should live our lives as social
At some
media.
point, it now became so heavy. It now became so heavy that I tend to start blocking Nigerians on my Twitter timeline. That's how bad it got. Because it's always Nigerians that are always carrying this kind of thing on my timeline. Next thing they're dragging someone that's
Seriously.
not supposed to be dragged. Or someone will just come and start spreading fake news, saying this man raped this one. When the man didn't do anything. People didn't know about the one that happened to Rude Boy just a few weeks ago. We have one girl from nowhere. I don't know where she had a kind of large following. But she wanted to grow her following more. or something. She was not saying that Rude Boy did this and that. She was just as in saying so many nonsense until Rude Boy told her that she's going to take this one to court. And as he said that thing, the girl deleted her account. She just shut herself down. Today they find out. I don't know if she has even come back. So you see this kind of thing now. It's more like the only way you can tend to, maybe if the case is against you or someone is dragging you for something that is not true or defaming you, is usually when you bring up court matter now or cease and desist before such people end up something. Because them too, they're gaining from what they are doing.
But there's a way you bring up this thing, they will say you are bullying them. Like they will say they have freedom of speech and stuff like that. Huh?
Yeah, that's why I feel like all stakeholders should be there on that kind of decision. Like the government should be there and the people should be there as well. They know that, okay, see, we look at your rights, but your rights you cannot use because you have the right to speech to kind of start, slandering somebody. Is very bad.
Yeah.
That's my submission, Sha.
So lastly, I would like us to discuss on values and culture. How much of our value and culture do you think is eroding as a result of social media?
Okay. Our cultures. Culture is one thing that is very, very dynamic. And I don't actually feel like it's bad if we change at any point. So because of this globalization as a result of the advent of social media, we are picking up a lot of stuff from China, we are picking up a lot of stuff from United States and different places. So they are adding values. Whereas there are also the LGBT aspect, which is also bad for us. So social media is like influencing our culture a lot, but it's left for us as a society to actually keep the will to take up those good one and leave the bad one. So social media is having a lot of influence on our culture and values.
Yes, what I said, because even when we are doing a civic education in secondary school, there's this topic they just talk about westernization of our culture, like westernization. In as much as it's began from the incept of colonization, after they finally got independence and all that, social media made it even more prevalent that or more, because when you look at the other countries and all that, you see some certain things they are doing and you be like, okay, why can't you imitate them and all that kind of thing. And people not try to like subconsciously imitate them because of that's what they're always being fed, right? And while there are very, very good aspects of their culture that, okay, it might be nice to integrate into our own, we now tend to lose the good parts of ours as well, while trying to integrate their own culture. And at the same time, taking in the ones that, of course, these values they hold now is detrimental to us as Africans, but we will still take it in and accept it wholly as it is. And what propagates such is social media, as we all know. So there has to be a way to curtail that. There has to be a way to curtail that. That's just the thing.
On a final note, I'd like to just throw this question to General House. How can we take back control from social media instead of allowing it to control us?
So it has to do from the very stage where children are growing up. People have to be brought up uprightly, and in that manner, when they see what is bad in the social media, they know it's bad. When they see what's good, they know it's good. And also, it has to be for each individual for themselves have to regulate the social media. So choose what is good for you and stick to it. In fact, use it for your business, use it for your own entertainment, use it for every other positive uses. But if you see something that is bad as a person, I think this one is just on the individual level. If you see what is bad as a person, you just have to scroll past and move on.
And adding to that, it's just a matter of also regulating the time spent doing non-productive work on social media. When I say non-productive, that you are just like leisure, it's just for your leisure. You have to tend to regulate that time, because if you let it go, it will keep feeding you more and more and more. And you discover that at some point, your attention span is taking a massive hit. So to avoid that, there has to be some form of regulation as well to ensure that you maximize the benefits and minimize the
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. It was nice having you guys today. It was really nice having you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dave, for
Thank you very much.
joining us today.
It was a wonderful session.